Hello, everyone. This is Livia Caudell, CEO and founder of Conscious Wealth Builders, and you are tuning in to the online summit. And I am so honored to have this amazing woman here on this online summit with us. Sparky, Helice Bridges, you are a difference maker.
Oh, wow.
You really are. And it truly is an honor to have you here. Like when you said yes, that you would participate, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was like having, the President of the United States say yes, because that's who you are. So I want you to just share with the viewers real quick, who you are, what you're up to, and what your vision for the world is.
I think to come to that who I am and what I'm up to, it really starts with where I was. And I just wanted to say to each person, wherever you are, there's so much bigger things with joy. And I was so grateful to be a millionaire, very successful in business, had a home on the ocean, 2 gorgeous preteen sons, married, wonderful wife. And my husband was controlling. And he was verbally abusive, not physically.
Yeah.
But here's the gift that I got out of it. 18 years of being put down and told what I wasn't good at and that I was too fat. I'm a beautiful woman, okay?
Yes, you are.
I was hot. I didn't know it, but I was very good looking, very successful. But chipping away with people, just anybody that says you're not enough or just feeling indifferent and just not having a voice. And yet producing a lot of results in the world, financially, very wealthy. But I didn't really care much about money. I just wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
So that's my starting point. Now here's the genius and the gift that I think the heavens give us, the universe, God, whatever we want to call it. But the greatest gift is that I decided to commit suicide because I didn't feel loved like my parents loved me, and my light was stopping and shutting down. I didn't even know I had a light.
Yeah.
Such as they call me Sparky now, so that I lighten up, right? But the light started to shrink, and at one point I couldn't breathe, and I didn't know what was happening, but I knew I had to get away. So I walked out of my $1 million house on the ocean. I just left my husband and my kids. I didn't know later that I might have abandoned them, but at that moment I was not functioning. Yeah. I was emotional, but by getting away, I was able to go to a lot of personal development courses.
Yes, we share in that.
Exactly, and all of a sudden I realized I have a voice. I can speak up. I can say no to my husband.
Yeah.
And I began to find myself, and I think it began right there.
Yeah, that's huge.
So just to kind of take you from where that was to possibly where I am today and what the generations of is that until I was hanging around with positive, powerful, supportive, vulnerable, authentic human beings who absolutely didn't know anything more than I did, except that they knew there was something greater.
Yeah.
And they would take these personal development courses, Walk on Fire, bend steel with their minds, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But here's a beautiful gift, and the gift is you don't ever know what's going to happen unless you are open to it. And when you hang around great people, all of a sudden something came through me, and I had a voice inside that said, you're going to make a difference in the world.
Wow.
And I went, huh. It was like this sweet voice. It was the same voice that actually saved my life when I was down on my knees ready to commit suicide. Wow. I heard a voice that said, you can't take your life because you're going to sing, dance, write, and have a musical on Broadway in New York City. And I'll tell you, it was just like that.
Wow.
And I never heard a voice like that.
Yeah. And I can't wait to be a part of that, by the way.
Right, by the way. That's why I said,
we're going to create a musical
on
Broadway.
On Broadway?
Yeah.
So I went from almost dying
and
taking my life to going, really?
Yeah.
How cool is this life? But then when I heard of making a difference, I told a gentleman I started to date. After I left my husband, I met this gentleman who actually kind of corralled me into these personal development courses. And I didn't really know what that was about until I woke up and I went, whoa, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. And I became co-chair of the San Diego Hunger Project.
It's amazing.
This is where, and this is important for all of us to really realize that you don't know. I went to a meeting and they were talking about, woman was up there saying that every minute 21 kids are dying in the world of lack of for starvation. And we could do something. And I was a millionaire, so I think, whoa, I could do something. And I went up to her and I said, I understand we have to enroll people in the end of hunger. You have these enrollment cards. I'll take 1,500 of them. She looked at me and she said, 1,500? Nobody takes 1,500 cards. They take 3 cards or 5 cards.
Yeah.
But I was used to making a lot of money and having vision. So I said, well, I'll do 500 a month. That's 3 months. I'll enroll 1,500 people. That's so much a week, so much an hour, so much a minute. I could do that.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. The good news that I had the vision. The other news is I didn't know that it's not like selling real estate, which I was doing. If you were trying to talk to people about ending world hunger,
Yeah.
they weren't exactly like, yeah, let me help you.
Yeah.
But here's what I learned. I created a team, and I would advise anybody that if you have a dream or anything like that, bring a team of people together who really have different, they have their assets, but they want to help. They want to either work with you or
Align with your
absolutely
vision.
align.
Yeah.
And so I brought teenagers together, grandparents together, business people together, husbands and wives, and I brought a team of 12 people, and I said, I really, we need to end world hunger.
Yeah.
And we went out on the movie lines and the beaches, and we walked up to people and said, excuse me, would you like to end world hunger? Here, fill out this card. It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
But after you get used to the rejection, we enrolled 10,000 people in 8 months in the end of hunger.
Wow. That's enormous. How'd you do that?
Okay, so you kept going and you get rejected. Go up, so they were putting oil on their skin and they're bathing in the sun, and I'm going, excuse me, how would you like to end world hunger?
They're like, give me a pina colada.
Yeah, that's right. They're going, why? And each time, I found out that you get rejected a lot. But after a while, I knew exactly how to talk to them. I would say, excuse me, this is a gorgeous day to really bathe and get sunshine. And they go, yeah. And I said, and you're good looking. And they go, really, we are, aren't we? And I go, yes. And I said, and I'll tell you something that I'd like to figure out with you if you'd help me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I want people to have food and to really have as much beauty as you're having right now. So would you give me 2 minutes of your time? Because I want to introduce you to a concept that we can end hunger together, and I'll walk away in 2 minutes. And they go, oh, I guess so. And then all of a sudden, they started to sign a card that said that they'll do something to end world hunger. And then I said, would you tell the next blanket over that I'm doing something great and that you want to be a part of it? Pretty soon, everybody on the beach would say, do something with this lady.
Oh, that's so great. Oh.
And at the end of the day, I would walk back and they would all wave and say, how many people did you enroll? Because I had a vision. I would maybe say 25 or 50 or something. And they would say, I said, I'm at 46, and I said I would go 50. And they start yelling at the other blankets. Yeah. The lady has to have 4 more. Come on. And everybody pitched in.
That's amazing. So can you just tell the viewers real quick about your organization?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, share about your organizations and the impact that they've made on an international, global level.
So I'm going to start out and say that what I found out is that by talking to people about ending world hunger, I started Difference Makers International, a nonprofit organization, to help end the hunger of the starvation of love.
Ugh.
See, I didn't know that people were missing, feeling like me when I needed love from my husband. But by going out and trying to end world hunger, people would come up to me and say, I'm starving myself, my mother's got cancer, or my dad lost his job, or somebody else say, my brother's in jail because of some crime he did. And I'm thinking, how can I help? I don't have a clue. But in the process, I prayed on it, and I came up with a blue ribbon that says, who I am makes a difference. And
I'm wearing mine.
Yes, this is really cool because I just thought maybe I'll go up to my kids' teachers and my neighbors and tell them how great they are and how much I valued them. So I started out and I just did that. And then I got a team together, and one man gave me $20,000 because somebody honored him with a blue ribbon, and he came to a meeting. And I said, I want to bring my whole city of San Diego together. And I said, we're going to write a proclamation in 2 hours. An hour and a half went by, and it was finished. And the man came up to me, and he wrote me a check for $20,000. I said,
wow.
Sir, I can't take your money. I simply don't know what I'm doing. And he said, lady, I just spent $50,000 hiring a marketing company to spend 3 months to tell me what my vision, mission, and goals were. You said it's 2 hours, and you want to write a proclamation to call the whole city together. It's an hour and a half. Everybody left. He said, don't tell my name. But his $20,000 started Difference Makers International and started honoring people. 35,000 people were honored in the first 3 months.
Wow. I'm curious. I know you can't tell his name, but I wonder how he feels knowing that he contributed to such a huge organization now that it is today.
I think that, I never saw him after that. I don't know if it even knew. I'm hoping that he did. But here's, I think, the important part about this is that we can't know that 35,000 people would be honored in the first 3 months that I started this, that everybody wanted to feel loved. And I want to just tell you the ceremony and why the ribbon is cut this way, and I'll give an experience of it, and I'll tell you we're at 40 million people around the world in 12 languages that have experienced this. Been a television movie.
Yeah.
I produced a musical.
Wow.
That was on Broadway downtown San Diego with a cast of 150 Miss Teen American contestants. My music's been on ABC's 2020, and there's and I train and teach all over the world. I've been with on the same stage with the Dalai Lama and Vice President Al Gore, and I've been in the Soviet Union walking with Mikhail Gorbachev's wife because I have a ribbon. So let me explain.
Well, and because you have purpose.
I have purpose, that's right. And I just want to honor something and tell you where we're going to 1 billion people, 1 out of every 7 on the planet, and how they're going to receive this ribbon in the next 3 years by 2020. So if you're scared along the way, I was terrified that the first million, second million, and so forth. And now this is a whole different experience. So let me just take a moment and kind of give you the clue about we're having a moment of interruption. Is that all right?
Yeah.
We planned all this not to have an interruption. So okay. So here's a gift. I want to just say something. So what I did is I had everybody go out into the community, my team, and I said, here's this ribbon, here's what I'd like you to do. Go out and tell somebody how special they are, honor them, place the ribbon above their heart, and cheer them on for their dreams and give them 2 more ribbons to pay it forward.
Ugh.
So that was the intention. We hadn't written the ceremony yet, but we found out after 35,000 people what worked and what didn't, and I'm going to tell you what works. So Olivia, may I show you this?
Yes.
You already have a ribbon. It's okay to have more than one. Right? I'm the creator, so it's good. And as executive director and the founder of Difference Makers International and this blue ribbon, I will hold the ribbon facing you. It's cut on an angle like airplane flying. It's got gold letters that say who I am makes a difference. It has the I am affirmation in it. And anything that follows I am becomes us.
Yeah.
And it has a logo of cheerleaders in a community jumping for your dreams. So that's the symbols of this. And Olivia, I have a blue ribbon for you, and it says, who I am makes a difference, and I would love to honor you and tell you how magnificent you are. Oh my God, you know what got me here? Is like, you're talking about this big vision of creative wealth, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Conscious wealth builders.
Yeah, conscious wealth, thank you very much. And we just met on the phone. And I was writing everything you said down, and I was repeating it back to you because I thought, whoa, this woman's got something so great. And at some point, I just jumped up in my home office, and you were on the phone with me wherever you were, wherever you live, and I was far away, and I just said, I have to honor you, and I honored you over the phone.
Yeah, you did.
And that was it. and I was just so pleased to have the relationship. So I want you to know that not only are you absolutely gorgeous, and I look at your hair all the time, and I look the way you do that when you fling it, and how you're so excited about everything, and but how much you make people want to come and do what you do, and especially the work you're doing with kids. Okay, would you receive this ribbon from me?
It'd be an honor.
May I place it on you? It goes above your heart, up toward all your greatest dreams coming true. When you look at that ribbon, you'll know that one of the most powerful and unstoppable grandmas on the planet said, you rock, you go for your dreams, I believe in you, anything I can do to support you, and I'll ask you, what's your dream, how can I help you, what do you need? And inside of that ribbon is a community of cheerleaders in order to get everybody running around and say, what is your dream? How can I help you? What do you need?
Yeah.
I take the spark from my heart to ignite the cheerleaders, and I go, bing, B-I-N-G, bing. And every time you hear a bing, you'll know someone just got their dream, because it's the sound of making dreams come true.
That is so amazing.
And it is tradition for me to
you.
give you 2 extra ribbons when you honor somebody.
I was just going to say, who am I going to give this to? Well, I definitely know I'm going to give one to Brooks.
And pay it forward, and then be a part of our 1 billion campaign now. That's
amazing. So how many people have you honored to date?
Well, we estimate 40 million people have been honored. The Who I Am Makes a Difference story was made into a television movie. Then it went in a 6-minute photo movie that was #1 on YouTube for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
About a boy that didn't commit suicide because his father, the boy was 14 years old, his father honored him with a blue ribbon, and the boy was planning on taking his life when his father came home and honored him with the blue ribbon. Wow. And in that moment, the boy sobbed and sobbed, but he just needed to be loved by his dad. And he said, he pulled out a gun from a drawer, looked at his dad, and he said, I was planning on committing suicide tomorrow, Dad, because I didn't think you loved me, and now I don't have to. And that became in the Chicken Soup for the Soul book, which is a New York Times bestseller. And it went into a 3-page book, and people all over the world suddenly wanted ribbons. And they called my home, and we used to put straight pins through them. And I would get all these calls from people, and I cut them, and I put them in little packages and count them. Today, all these ribbons are hand-cut, printed, hand-cut, counted, packaged, and shipped around the world in 12 languages by our adults with disabilities. And we pay them.
Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so what happened is it was just overwhelming for me, and so partnerships with industry, and I'm in San Diego, so they sit and they cut those ribbons with such love. Oh my God! And we've got tens of thousands of people wanting ribbons.
Yeah.
And so they go out every day while I'm sitting here, and the 7-step ceremony, and here's what happened. How we got to 40 million is included in the movies, the books that are written, where that message goes, plus the inventory of our ribbons.
Yeah.
But I brought a team of women together 3 years ago, and I needed help. And women like yourself, that I trusted and loved me. And I said, I'm stuck. I'm at 40 million, and I really don't know what to do. And something inside me wants me to do something else, and I can't breathe. And one woman, Marlene Clover, who has Parenting 2.0, which is all over the world, Marlene says to me, Sparky, didn't you want 300 million people in America honored by 2020? And I said, yeah, that's what I want. She said, too small. Has to be 1 billion, 1 out of every 7 on the planet. And I went, oh, okay.
You're like, I'll play that.
Yeah, but here's the deal. At 1 million, I would have hiccups and say, God, please leave me alone. What do you want from me? At 2 million, 3 million, all the way up. And I was just still asking, who am I?
Yeah.
It's just but I had to something that I didn't know, and I was telling you earlier. I would come home after I honored people. I'd find somebody pulling their weeds, and I'd run out, jump out of my car and say, wow, lawn looks great. And I'd honor them and give them a ribbon and 2 more, and I'd leave. Or somebody was smiling, it didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
And I started feeling so good inside. I couldn't understand why I felt so good. It doesn't like I was making money like I was before. I wasn't, but I came home and I go, I don't know, I feel so good. And I put this ribbon on a scale. and I wanted to weigh it to see if it weighed anything. I'm serious. I went, it's got to weigh something. How does it do this?
Yeah.
But I didn't know, and you were talking about science today in your lecture. I had no idea about the chemicals in our body, the endorphins and the serotonin, the dopamine, and the body's natural high when somebody loves you, when somebody acknowledges you. Our teachers are just starving for acknowledgement. They are 30 kids in their room, and everybody is kind of going through a lot of hardship, and they have to teach into that. The kids need to be acknowledged. The business people are going nuts. They don't know how to really tell their employees that they matter. The gossip is huge, so there's all this focus on what's not working.
Yeah.
And the ribbon suddenly, it did three things. Sick people seemed to get healthier. Sad people became happy.
Amazing.
And angry people didn't hurt themselves or others anymore. And they stopped drugging themselves out with drugs and alcohol, lashing out with crime and violence.
Yeah.
The depression rates went down, and what we were able to prove is that in a minute or less, we could change lives. We could end conflict, end bullying, and we could help make dreams come true. And then what progressed is I was invited all over the world to suddenly speak and train and help design the transformation of communities, from corporations, universities, organizations, elementary, middle, high school.
Incredible.
And like that. So I've actually been self-taught, like right on the streets. I'm a high school graduate who, like that.
That is so amazing. I'm so inspired by you. Like, seriously, I'm sitting, and so what's going on in my mind, because this is something that I've struggled with. You know, at a young age, I was on a mission to never be broke, because when I was little, you know, my parents, were there was a lot of violence in the home, and a lot of it had to do around money issues, and other things. But that was kind of like what stuck in my mind. And I remember being, a little girl and saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to never be broke.
Right.
And so, although I had glimpses of what I thought was my purpose, I had these divine interventions, like very spiritual, things that had happened. It was like I knew that I had a bigger purpose on this planet, but I was so driven by my childhood and the stories and the things that I made it mean, right? So can you just share, like, any time during your endeavor of, like, being your purpose, did you ever at once not feel supported, or did you go hungry, or, were you not able to pay your bills? I know you were sharing some things that had happened.
I think this is really important, because I all of a sudden, making a lot of money, I all of a sudden wasn't.
Yeah.
I went homeless for a short period of time. I a lot of times didn't have food in my refrigerator, and somehow people would just put a pot of stew at my front door.
Yeah.
I didn't have gas in the car. But I'll tell you, I was so charged up to honor somebody. Somehow I always found a little bit of money to buy ribbons. May not have gas in the car.
Yeah.
But I wanted to honor somebody. I will tell you, I was kicked out of school, spit on, laughed at, made, your touchy-feely woman on the one hand. And on the other hand, I was invited to world stages to speak.
Yeah.
So I just kept going at it, but mostly I didn't think I mattered, and I taught this and honored people. And if you notice that the ceremony says, I have a blue ribbon, and it says, who I am makes a difference.
Yes.
And I said that for 10 years.
Wow.
And I did not know that I had to acknowledge myself first.
That's so brilliant.
I mean, to tell you.
Brilliant.
And also when I say, would you accept my gift? May I place it on you? Would you accept my gift? May I place it on you? I didn't realize that I was giving people an opportunity to, one, receive acknowledgement, which most people did not know how to do, and to touch them with love.
Yeah.
I will say that the biggest problem I had was believing that I was in competition with everybody that had a book or an author, or all the time it was like, I'm not enough yet, and if only. And I went through that for all too long until I paid $1,000 to coach the get over my confusion. It was like I was dying, you know. It's like I've taken every course, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, when it's like being like a fish being hooked out of water, and you're flipping around in airness, and you don't know where you've been and you don't know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happens when you have a calling and you start moving toward it. It's just like it's all confusing.
Yeah.
At least it was for me.
Yeah. You shared something really powerful, you know, what you were just saying about there were times where you didn't have food, but it would just magically appear.
Exactly.
And I think that was my biggest thing. So this year I really decided I'm going to take my purpose on.
Right.
Because my biggest fear was this lie I was telling myself, which was I need to go make a bunch of money first in order to go really make a difference in the capacity that I really wanted to. And I had to give that up, like, completely. And it took a lot, and it still, like, comes back. Like, I could easily go back to money-making opportunities. And I'm not saying don't make money, but what I'm saying is that for me, I feel like I'm now living my true, authentic purpose, and I'm not letting these money-making opportunities detour me. And my biggest fear was, universe, you better support me. And when you shared that story that, you know, somehow the universe has always supported you, that really just put so much faith in my heart that, you know what, I'm going for my dreams and I know it's going to work out. So thank you for that, by the way.
I'm so glad you said that, because one time I'm driving, I have a little cottage house, and I'm driving and I don't have the rent. And I have to get it by the next day, and I'm like terrified. I mean, every month it was like that, but this I was really pissed. So I'm driving home, and finally I just got so mad. I yelled at the universe and I said, I'm working for you, you better pay the bill. I'm finished with this mess, okay? And I got home, and then somebody ordered enough ribbons the next day to pay my rent.
That's incredible.
And I can't know that kind of stuff, but and they say go on faith and all like that, but you really have to stay in action, yes?
Yeah,
and
big time.
and really just keep going inside and looking for your purpose. And I just, speaking of purpose, and let me just say something about that and take you into Ignite What's Right, which is my new company.
Yes.
All right. So it's interesting because all along, I couldn't understand, is this all I was supposed to do is pin ribbons on people?
Yeah.
Like, why I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then one day, I asked a bunch of people to come to my house, and I said, would you please tell me who I am and what I do? And they're all, for 2 hours, everybody's monkeying around. Yeah. And finally, everybody just said, you just tell people that they matter, and you give them a ribbon. And I went, uh-huh. And they said, well, that's what you do. And then somebody said, and one of my coaches said, and you are the first lady of acknowledgement. You are the first person that has acknowledged that many people.
The first lady of acknowledgement. Yeah. Like I said, President of the United States, you're the first lady of acknowledgement.
They gave me that title, my coach, who is world-renowned, and I went, wow. And I put it on my book, because we became an author. I produced the musical. I started to do a lot of different things, but I still didn't believe I was, what is First Lady of Acknowledgement? Acknowledgement is a big word.
It is.
But here's the gift. I believe, now I want you to know that I have, my essence, my whole body is, that's who I am. And today, we're in Bangladesh, and today when I spoke and I opened it up, and I looked at these amazing people that I'm about to weep about, because they're so loving.
Yeah.
All these young people that we spoke to today, the love and the invigoration and the possibilities of this country moving up to a digital age where they're going to make a lot of money and step up. You know what I said, what came through me is I said, today I'm not teaching you anything, I'm just here to love you.
That's beautiful. And just to give the viewers a little background, we're here in Dhaka, Bangladesh at the BPO Summit 2016, and we both got to speak to the youth that are here to look for job opportunities and really transform their country. And you know, you spoke about making a difference and honoring them.
And exactly right. And so here I am. And what it came down to, I was thinking something that you said, and a few other people said, I think it might have been you, and you said, I just want to love people. And did you say that?
Yeah.
And I went, huh, you know, First Lady of Acknowledgement, who am I? And I went, I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to love you.
Yeah. Well, I was sharing my little brother.
Right.
My little brother called me up and he goes, "So, sister, what do? You create love, right?"
That's what you said.
And I was like, "Gosh, that's so brilliant. That's exactly what I do." Here I am trying to complicate it. Oh, I'm making a difference. I'm transforming the planet. We create love.
We, you know, it's so natural to say it, but if you say it into an audience that doesn't have a listening for that,
Sure.
you have to kind of carve it out to
Yeah.
meet the needs of that business or whatever the societal model is. But in this beautiful thing, what I wanted to do is find a way to get 1 billion people honored.
Yeah.
And the board of directors, my organization, they weren't ready to go to the next level because there was too much legal things, and I was, all of a sudden, my entrepreneurial spirit from way back when I was millionaire started to come through, and I just had to move. So I transitioned myself off of my board and started Ignite What's Right 3 months ago.
Wow.
A company, I said, I want to ignite what is working in this country, in the world, because everybody focuses on what's not working. You could keep doing that. I'm not going to stop you from doing that, except that my name is Helice Bridges. I want to bridge you from conversations about what you don't like about yourself and others, and complain and judge and blame, and to put you into a world of possibility, proactivity, and prosperity, so that
Beautiful.
we can align together.
Beautiful.
At a higher level
Yeah.
of communication, and have that woven into every home, school, and workplace.
Yeah.
And so I launched Ignite What's Right, and that is drawing everybody. The goal is 1 billion people honored with this blue ribbon by the year 2020.
Amazing.
And may I tell you how it's going to launch?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, this is why you want to keep going. Do not ever give up, because once it happens, you go, oh my God, it's like 35 years, no problem. You know? But here's what happened. I said the intention is out there, and out of the blue, I get a 2-paragraph email from, this sounds like a sad story, but it'll change, from a woman named Rayanne Gardner in a little town called Elk River, Minnesota, and she said, our police chief and his son were shot and killed by his other son. And I was so devastated. At the funeral, our fire chief handed me a little envelope and said, when you get home, open it. And she said, I opened it up, and there was a blue ribbon in it that said, who I am makes a difference. And I just wanted to call and thank you, because it changed my whole life to read that. And I said, excuse me, but is the fire chief, could it be John Cunningham? And she said, now I'm in California, she's in Minnesota. And she said, how did you know? And I said, because you see, I received a letter from Fire Chief John Cunningham at Ground Zero when he got a little girl ran from the crowd when he was walking away on 9/11, Ground Zero, and she ran up to him and honored him with the blue ribbon. And 10 years later, I received a full-page letter from Fire Chief John Cunningham telling me the power of that moment, and that it was something he would never, this was a language he would live on his whole life. Turns out that he's in the next building over, and she's the communications coordinator for their town of 23,000. John Cunningham, Chief Cunningham, the three of us got together on Skype about a month ago, and I told him about the billion, and he said, I want our city to launch it grassroots, because the fire department has all the resources and the technology to capture all the stories, and how many people will be honored. We can create the blueprint.
Amazing.
That it can go to every fire department in the United States and around the world.
Incredible.
And we're going to launch it at the 15th anniversary of 9/11,
Oh my
which
God.
is next month.
So amazing.
Which is their idea.
Yeah.
They wanted it. I said, fine. And as we build, and this is important for the branding and so forth, I didn't want this blue ribbon to lose its purpose,
Yeah.
but to be able to be able to spotlight and unite the people that are making a difference. So how do we get to 1 billion, and what is working?
Yeah.
And so right now we've got people coming to me that are branding experts, marketing experts, people that love me and have been touched by this.
Who doesn't love you? I mean, seriously, come on. And that's, I just gotta say, because it's so, like, you could have all the money in the world, right? But you've got so much love within you. Like you said, you feel so good acknowledging people. I mean, I have not heard one person say anything negative about you. You know what I mean? And that's kind of rare in the world. I mean, people always want to judge and assess other people, but they just cannot judge and assess you, because who you are makes a difference. Like, you can't, And so I'm just saying that because it's not about money.
Right.
Although money's great and it's an energy and it comes to you, it's not about that. It is about making a difference, because that's what's going to have you fulfilled and feel good about your contribution to the world.
You said something that I loved, and you said planet first.
Yes.
Right?
People, planet, profits. Yeah.
That's right. So I want to just say something, because we have to pay the rent, we have to buy the groceries, got to do stuff. And we always say, do your dream and you do purpose and the money will follow. Well, that's terrific, and I believe in that, because I live that. But I think that the most important thing for all of us to remember is that everybody along the way will probably tell us we're crazy, we're dumb, it can't happen, forget about it, you're too, and all that. I just want to hang around people that say, yes, you can, I believe in you, and then ask for help.
Yes.
And reach out to mentors, like you were talking about training today, and I train people now all over the world to connect heart to heart, to ignite the human spirit, and to bring love, and here's the money part. Emotions supersede anything. If you feel loved, supported, nurtured, and empowered, you can do anything. And if you're in a fertile soil to grow that greatness, your company grows, your homes, they heal each other. We brought more marriages together and all that. But it's really the fertile soil that grows greatness in. Yeah. And I just want to honor that acknowledgement is missing in our workplaces, in our homes, in our schools.
Big time.
It is. We're starving. And one of my colleagues, who I will mention her name because I think it's important to say, Sue Gibson, she's a public relations person. She said, what you have is the secret to the cancer of the heart. It's a cancer of the soul. She said, every time you honor somebody, you're healing that cancer. And when you give the 2 ribbons to pay it forward, which I believe I just did.
I know, I'm so excited to give them to my people.
We collect those stories, like the fire chief story, and Rayanne's story, and the boy that didn't commit suicide, and all of the elements that people come and say, I quit my job because I finally had somebody that told me I mattered. Another woman, I walked up to her and I honored her, and I didn't even know her. She was a stranger she looked gorgeous, and she was like 25 years old in a really hot outfit. And I went up to her and I just said, by the way, you're really looking good. I thought I'd honor you with this ribbon. And she said, okay, I'll stop smoking. I'm trying to say, you cannot know what people will say.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Oh.
And I think one of the last things I like, if we have enough time, I just want to tell you about helping young people potentialize. I was invited to, I honored, we had a booth at a music festival, and it said, who I am makes a difference. And this young man who's now 33 years old, he was 31 when I met him, he's a teacher, Luis Lopez, and he says, I make a difference. And I said, would you like to be honored by me? And he goes, okay, and I honor him. And in 30 seconds, which is the acknowledgement took, he looked at me and he said, that's going to help all my kids make their dreams come true. I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a school teacher, high school teacher. And he said, would you come down and talk to my classroom? And I said, okay. Now, it's an hour away to his class. He doesn't know me. I didn't even have a brochure. This is only 3 years ago. And I come down to his class, and here's the miracle. He is a 2-hour class. He asked the students, he said, today, rather than talking about the relationship between China and America, how would you like to talk about your dreams?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, no teacher does that.
Yeah.
And the kids all went around and talked about their dreams openly. Nobody ever does that. So I knew there's a very safe classroom. This teacher must be terrific. Nobody talks about their dreams. Honestly, they know they're going to get laughed at.
Yeah.
So they all talk about their dreams. And then he said, okay, we got a guest speaker. Sparky, you come up to the front. And I come up the front, and I looked at the 30 students, high school students, and said, how would you like to make your dreams come true in a minute or less?
Mm.
And one boy who stood up and shared his dream, Mario, he stood up and he said, I have a burning desire to be a film producer, but my parents want me to be a doctor or a lawyer, and it's killing me.
Mm.
And I said, how would you like to make your dreams come true in a minute or less? And Mario, how would you like to film it? Put your name on as a producer, and I'll get it all over the world.
Oh, my God, that's incredible.
And he stood up and he said, really? And I said, absolutely. And within 2 weeks, this classroom decided to raise enough money to produce 200 hygiene packages for the homeless. They went down and delivered it. Mario filmed it. His parents were so impressed, they enrolled him in the Martin Scorsese Symposium. He came in second in the United States. But we produced, out of those 30 kids, 10 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
Who started their own companies that are flourishing to this day.
Incredible. And it's acknowledgement. Like, it's so simple. Like, just to take one stinking minute. 30 seconds is what you said.
It was 30
seconds to acknowledge someone, and you could literally change the trajectory of their entire future.
And that was the cultivation in that classroom where they're all honored each other, which is all I did is say, let's turn and find out what each other's dreams are, honor each other, and boom, it pops like popcorn.
Yeah.
And Luis Lopez became Teacher of the Year. He has now been asked by the superintendent of his school district, because his dream was 40,000 kids would really be impacted and transformed. Now he moved on to another school where his principal empowers him. Superintendent asked him to write a curriculum for the whole school district for all 40,000 with life skills, coaching, and that's going to be integrated this year.
Wow.
And that's because I coached him for 2.5 years to have him see a bigger picture. But I think everybody needs a good coach.
Absolutely,
mentor.
100%. Personal development, coaching, mentorship. Real quickly, can you just share with the viewers, so you obviously discovered your purpose and you've just been in action around that.
Right.
How does someone, the viewer, because I was always that person, I would listen to all these amazing speakers, read all these books, but I kind of was just left with like, gosh dang, well, I want to make a difference, but what's my purpose? And how am I going to make that? So what would be your wisdom to share with them of how they can really...
There are three things that I think that we need to look at. And that we need, first of all, somebody that will listen to us without interrupting. Okay?
I love that.
Okay, don't interrupt. Just, if you ask the question of somebody and say, what's your dream? And then you'll go, I don't know, or I don't have enough money, and then they'll go and keep talking. Pretty soon, all of a sudden, what'll come out is, I really love children, or I like to plant flowers, or something will come out, and you got to keep just saying and repeating, So the first thing is ask a person what's their dream. Find somebody that you feel that you could feel safe with, ask them, and to say to you, what's your dream? And just let them keep doing that and just having you just say it back. The second is to have them repeat it back.
Yeah.
Like a lot about that.
Yep.
So to repeat it back and say, did I hear you say you love to plant, flowers or something, or seeds? And continue to know that you're being acknowledged. And the third thing is just take action and do whatever...
just take action.
Just go. Listen, make a million mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
But be around people that will go, good job. I believe in you. Keep on going.
Amazing.
So be with people that love you, support you, and nurture you.
That's so amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and sharing your grandmotherly wisdom, and who you are. To me is just this ginormous, amazing energy of light in the world. and it just is an honor to know you. And thank you so much for the ribbons. I can't wait to give them to people. And is there any final words you'd like to say?
I just want to say that be a part of the billion. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want, you can get information about how to get in
Yeah,
touch
actually,
with
go
them.
ahead and share with
So
the viewers.
the two things is go to 1 Billion Dreams.
Okay.
It's one ONE.
And we'll post the link below as well.
1billiondreams.com.
Amazing.
And then you could get involved in this in the campaign. Buy ribbons, and they'll go to our nonprofit organization.
Incredible.
And by the way, all of the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds, we put back into the schools so we can teach the kids life skills. I'll be training 1,500 kids for 10 months.
Amazing.
And I teach people all over the world. So I'm a teacher, a trainer. I'd help people design the transformation of their communities. I teach and we certify.
And how can anyone book you to speak or book you as a trainer, coach, mentor? Do you have
So you want to go to my first and last name. It's Helice, like hell on ice. Helice Bridges, Helice,
Yeah.
Bridges, BRIDGES, at gmail.com. And just say Sparky. By the way, my name is Sparky because I chose that name in 1984, so I'd lighten up. I wanted people to call me Sparky. I took my life too seriously. So Helice Bridges at gmail.com and say, Sparky, talk to me, and we'll work together to see what would work best for you.
Amazing.
I teach in 12 languages. I don't speak 12 languages, but the ribbons are in 12 languages.
Amazing.
But I travel all over the world to speak and train and design transformation of whole communities now. Isn't that cool?
So amazing.
So
yes.
thank you.
You're so
I'm
welcome.
blessed, and just know you could be sitting like here in Bangladesh, being a part of world leaders, and we're all helping each other get to the next level each time. So if you just think you're stuck, turn around and say, I need some help, and call me and say I need to be loved, and I'll give you in a minute or less, no more. Okay? I will honor you in a minute or less and tell you I love you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. We're going to post some links below. Make sure you stay in touch with this incredible woman. Be a part of her billion mission. Order some ribbons. Go out there and celebrate people who make a difference, because it really, truly is up to us to transform the world. So thank you so much for tuning in to the online summit. Please stay tuned to some amazing experts coming our way. Thank you so much, Helice.
Good job. Yeah.
So, Sparky, you've got a free gift for our viewers. Go ahead and share with them what that free gift is.
So I have a free gift. It's 7 steps of how to bring out the best in your employees and give customers coming back for a lifetime. And every employee will be able to work going, thank God it's Monday. I really want to be here. I'm going to show you how to transform your whole organization so that you're having fun and being prosperous.
Amazing. So click the link below, get your free gift. And that's so generous of you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right, click the link below.